If I died tomorrow, I did the things that I wanted to do.
If you die tomorrow, you might end up on BET and MTV. Talk.
The dream is to, one day I wanna be a rapper. I wanna I wanna be in the studios making music. I want music videos. I want to
Hmm.
perform in front of big crowds, you
Right.
know. And when I look at it, I'm like, dang, I did all that.
Hmm.
You know, I've done all that. Now it might not have been on BET and MTV,
Hmm.
but who cares? You know what I'm saying? you
And you're
know,
still here.
and I'm still here, right? I'm
I,
still
I,
here.
I cannot sit here and tell you that you're not going to do it.
Right, right. But my thing is,
I
if I,
honestly can't.
right. But my thing is, if I died tomorrow, I did the things that I wanted to do.
If you die tomorrow, you might end up on BET and MTV.
For sure. For sure.
You know how that game go.
Yeah, yeah. That's that. You're
Shoot. In
absolutely
this
right about that.
industry, a lot of artists are more valuable dead than alive.
That is true. You,
But I don't want to touch on that subject, not live.
yeah, no doubt,
Um,
no doubt.
but yeah, so fast forward, here we are working together, and you see the team building, you see the people coming around, and and I don't mind sharing publicly that, the mistake I made is not really truly appreciating the Hebrews and the Hebrew culture, because one thing about business that they teach you that is sometimes overlooked, especially by people who are inexperienced, is that business is all about a need. It's all about supply and demand. It's all about providing something that maybe other people can't provide. And what we
Right.
was providing was this music that they get to listen to that reminds them of the music on the radio, but it's something that they want to listen to, that they are proud of, to be a part of this culture, you know? And so when you get to hear these Hebrew songs and anthems that are as hot as the stuff on the radio, then it's like, look, man, you hear these guys, and they honestly, like, the vision that they had for us, they really were not wrong. We just weren't ready for it, and
Mhm.
honestly, it's like a marriage, it's like a commitment. When you're not ready for marriage, when you're not ready to make that commitment, you're not going to do it. And I wasn't ready to be known as the guy who made Hebrew music on that level. And
Right.
had we continued to go down that path, I have no doubt it would have went to that level. What I didn't know, and what you didn't know, was that a Kendrick Lamar was going to come along. You got to remember,
Right.
Kendrick Lamar got popping after we decided that we didn't want to go that route anymore.
That's facts.
Here he is coming along with high power. Here he is talking about Jesus Christ. Here he is talking about this next level of Christianity. And then 3 albums in, it levels up into this understanding of Hebrew. And
I'm an
then
Israelite. Don't call me black no more.
right on the album Damn, and then here we are, all the way after that, where he's talking about ego death and et cetera, et cetera. We watched Kendrick Lamar go through the process in front of us as a mainstream artist and succeed at it. He didn't fall off. He didn't let it take over his life, because you got people that come into this knowledge and experience in public and then fall all the way off because of that. They can't handle the stress. They can't handle the balance of handling your business affairs as well as walking that walk of spirituality, right? The path that divine has you on. And so we watched Kendrick do it. And so looking back at Kendrick's career, I'm like, well, damn, the very thing that we ran from brought us back to zero. With, this conversation here would have happened in that direction as well. Potentially speaking, that going down the same path of making music for the Hebrews would have also naturally evolved to where we would have, because remember, Who You Are is basically a song like that. Look at the evolution. Look at the evolution of Hebrews Are Us and Wars One to Who You Are, because Who You Are, remember when you came home, not came home, when you came to Petersburg and we went to the party at Daggy's house, rest in peace, Daggy, my little
Yeah.
brother. and you came into that party and he cut on Who You Are. I had no idea he was gonna cut it on. I
I
gave him a copy of Weekend Update the minute it came out at the end of August. I'm back in college. He throws that party. You know what I'm saying? I think it was like November. It was either November or beginning of December 2010. No, 2009, right? And he cuts on Who You Are, and you're like, yo, these kids know it. Daggy had been sharing our music with his entire crew. Now, mind you, these are all governor school kids and stuff, and I went to that school too, but I don't know these kids like that. They're 4 or 5 years younger than me. You gotta
yeah,
remember, they became freshmen right after I graduated.
right,
So now a lot of these kids go to VCU.
right, yeah,
And that's what he was hanging out with, his VCU friends and some of his old friends from the government school who was in town. That's why
right.
I would think it was around like Thanksgiving or Christmas break or something. I think it might have been Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
But they were back in town, and yeah, they
Yeah, that
played that
was,
song for you, and it blew both our minds. But I think it blew your
yeah,
mind a little bit more than mine. I
yeah,
knew
yeah.
how they ended up with the music, but you're like, yeah, look, Brandon
I
on right now.
remember
He said,
what
shout out to Dat Piff, yo, Dat Piff.
that piff,
They
yeah,
will never
yeah,
understand, but
yeah, sir.
Who You Are was already doing what Kendrick was about to do 5, 6, 7 years later.
Facts,
It was
facts.
already crossing over.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. And I feel like, man, just going back to that time, I remember that same year. So we put out, that was January 2010. So I would say 2011, the
Hmm.
following year after the EP. First time on the airplane, DJ Wise takes me out to California.
Mm.
We fly to LA, drive to San Diego. Um, and that's when I learned about Kendrick Lamar, K Dot. You know what I'm saying? And I remember hearing him, right? And it was the song Vanity Slaves. That was the very first song that I heard. And I'm just listening to it like, yo, this dude is going to be a superstar, yo.
Mm.
2011, yo, and he's the Vanity Slave, you know what I mean? So he was kind of, that song was on our our frequency. Um, but then the next song I heard was the Pussy and Patron.
Mm. Yeah, Pussy Patron was a good song.
Yeah, with Ab-Soul, and I'm just like, oh shoot! So he got Vanity Slaves, and then he got the Pussy and Patron. I'm like, yo, this dude is it. I could see him
Yeah.
being a superstar, yo. He keep up that, So, and I called that out in 2011, and then to see where he's at now, I'm just
Hmm.
like, yo. And then to actually see the journey and the path
Hmm.
and how it kind of mirrored where we were already at around that time. It just happened more rapid for us in Virginia. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Well,
yeah,
it's different levels to it, but just hearing you say that. So the first song I think I remember hearing Kendrick was ADHD, because I was heavily, heavily, heavily into like watching music videos on YouTube. I
yeah,
remember, Tyler the Creator. The year before that it was Wiz Khalifa when he came out
yeah,
with Mesmerize. Like I was
yeah.
really into the music video, so people was downloading the mixtapes off of Dat Piff. Shout out to
Mhm.
Brandon, and getting into the music. I'm not a real like well, at least back then, like, oh, here's a new song, let me listen to it. I was back then, I was obsessed with like YouTube, the content, watching the videos. And so like I think I remember Kendrick Lamar with ADHD. And then after that song, the song I got hooked onto was She Loves Me.
Okay.
I had that on repeat. Like I love music that just like puts you in like a trance, a space where you just like rocking to it, right? I love the beat. I love the message. And so getting hooked on Kendrick Lamar in that way, I had the same realization you had. I'm like, dang, man. But I did not see Kendrick going in that direction with the Hebrew stuff. Like I knew he was woke. I knew he understood certain things. He's an intelligent guy, and he can remind you of yourself, especially us being rappers and producers. Like,
Mhm.
yo, this guy gets it, right? And that's like similar to the understanding that you have of him. But to watch him put out "Damn" the album and like blatantly say, Hebrew this, Yahweh that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bruh, what?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right,
And it's
right,
like, again, we were already doing that 6 years, 7 years before that.
right, right.
And my only like true statement I could say about where we were at that time is that we simply just did not give ourselves enough credit.